Hello, so tonight I thought I'd do a video update for Bitcoin, Ethereum and the major coins and talk about what's going on, mostly because there's no resolution. Here we are at these prior lows. We've had a really nasty down day, despite the fact we've had some good news for Bitcoin today. The good news is no more Mt. Gox selling. The Mt. Gox Bitcoins will be returned to the victims instead, and some of them will get a chance to get their lost Bitcoins back. So at least there will be no more dumping for another 6 months. So that's good news for Bitcoin, but we are still kind of in a technical selling scenario. So here we are. So far, we found support at the start of the month lows. So we're sitting on the June lows after a big down day. If this today ends as a Marubozu candle, which is a big long candle with a big body, it doesn't matter if it's green or red, then very often resistance levels are 50% of the open close. So that means that I would zoom all the way in, mark 50% of the open to the close, not the tail, the open to the close. So 50% would be 64.54. So I'm going to mark 64.54. That's where my line is. I'll get rid of these fib levels. So if we do see a bounce, if we do see a little swing failure pattern because we've made a marginal new low and we bounce from this support, then my bull bear line becomes this 50% level at 64.54. If we rally back to it and continue lower, that's a really good place to look at selling if you want to sell more. If we get above it and hold above it and close above it, most importantly, tomorrow, that will be a bullish reversal. So 64.54 is the level that I'm looking at the moment. Now remember, if we close a bit higher, then that level will move up. And if we close a little bit lower, then that level will move down. However, that's, kind of the optimistic thing. We're in a pretty tight channel down here in Bitcoin. So I'm going to say that I really do think we continue lower to this 4,300, 4,250 level. Just too much lines up here. We got underneath the 618 fib and got rejected. This is the 786 fib retrace from the 2014-2015 lows. It makes a Gartley pattern, which you can look up. And if I project from this swing low to high, it's the 1.618 extension. And if I project from this low to high, it's the 1272 extension. So just almost too much lines up here. It's like a siren call. So although I think I see a bounce in Bitcoin, the likelihood for me is that we continue lower. Now, should you sell a break or should you sell a break of the February lows? Absolutely not. This is a level of prior support. So the way to trade it is either to sell a bounce or sell a bounce. So sell a bounce back to that Marubozu line. That would be a good entry. Otherwise, you need to wait for a break of this low and the February low and then a retest. And that would be a good entry, a safer entry. Just selling a break, I think we could see a bit of a jostling around these levels and it's not particularly safe. So that's how I see Bitcoin tonight. Let's talk about Ethereum. Ethereum went a little bit lower than I thought it would. However, bounces from a 786 fib mean that we usually go back to the 382. So if I take this away, that's where I'm looking, 510. That's my bull bear line in Ethereum. If we get above 510, we're probably in a bigger correction. If we rally to 510 and then roll over, that's a good level to look at selling. That's where both of these 4-hour moving averages are. It's where these two prior lows are. Look at this pivot level. Lows here, high, high here. So 510 is the bull bear line in Ethereum, US dollar based on Bitstamp prices. How do I know if we're going to rally up there? Well, if I put my fib on from this high to low, a 4-hour close above 481, which is the 236 fib, will say that we're probably going up to 510. So that's how I'm seeing Ethereum US dollar tonight. That's where I will decide. I think if we get back above 510, we'll likely continue higher. And then if we get above 5,000, not 5,000. If we get above 540, we've for sure made a low. However, if we don't and we fail at 510, I think that we can look lower from here, and the next support is at 412. So 510 is my bull bear line. 498, or the big round number 500, is potentially resistance, and 412 is where we go if we cannot get it up here in Ethereum US dollar. A lot of these other majors are on kind of really important support tonight. Here's Ripple, big deal level. Look at these spike close and the level one and the 886 fib level at 0.49 in Ripple. I'm watching that one quite closely. The momentum says that we should go higher in that one. However, no good news for Litecoin. We've properly broken down in Litecoin, and I know this is a favorite of mine, so I'm a little bit gutted by this. I think we're headed to 72.30. That's the next Fibonacci support in Litecoin, and if we bounce, if we see a bounce, then 90 or 91 thereabouts is resistance for us to continue lower in Litecoin. Now there are a couple of coins that are doing some decent things that I thought I'd mention. So one of them, the first one we're going to take a look at, is Funfair, because he's a really good example of a Marubosu line. So I marked the Marubosu line in Funfair. This is this red line. It's here at 406. So today, and we can see that momentum is with us. We're going higher. We had a big rally yesterday, and we've held above, at the moment so far, this 406 support resistance level. So I'm looking for Funfair. I'm looking at this as a bullish inside bar rather than a bearish harami. If we close below this level, I would see it as a bearish harami and a bearish reversal level. But closing above, for me, keeps me with the momentum and looking for another potentially swing higher in here. Now, where are we going to know and how? Where are the fib levels? Why else do I like this? Well, we got well above this 236 fib level yesterday at 422. This usually points to more upside. I think at least we should retrace 50% of the drop and 50% of this zone in Funfair, and that takes us to 498, and above 498 we should go back to the highs at 640. This is a proper range trade in this one, and 640 is the top of the range. So that's how I'm seeing Funfair holding up pretty bullish. Momentum says we should continue higher in that one. And the other one that I'm going to take it that I think is quite interesting is Basic Attention Token, that we've been paying attention to. Why have we been paying attention to it? Well, we had a higher low in this one, and we found support when we got above the 200-day moving average. So whenever you do that and you see the market find support, consolidate above a 200-day like we did, this is always looking to point higher. Plus, if we look at this on a 4-hour, this made a really nice inverted head and shoulders pattern in Basic Attention Token. We could, if I put the 382 fib back in here, you can see that this was the neckline, or this was these extreme highs. If we lose the closing highs of 4,000 or 4,200. So we broke above the neckline and we pulled back and we came back and we reversed to the 618 fib. Whenever you do that, you come back to the 382, which we did, and we found support from potentially this lower neckline, and now we're going higher again. Now, the pivot level in the middle in Basic Attention Token, and it comes all the way back from here, look. It's a little bit lower, isn't it? There we go. These lows, these highs here, these highs, this is the 50% of the high that we made in February to the low that we made in May. So that's the yearly high to low 50% level, 4355. That's acting as like a pivot in the middle. I think if we can close above that, we should continue higher. So if I'm watching this low time frame, otherwise I think we're going to do a bit more consolidation in Basic Attention Token. But this is what I'm watching for. Continued upside above 4,700 is a bullish breakout. So where are we going to go next in Basic Attention Token? Well, if we measure the head and shoulders pattern like this, low to these highs, and we project it from the breakout point, that takes us to this trend line and this 886 fib, 5487. So our target on a continuation higher above 4,700 is 5,487, and this trend line, I expect a bit of a wobble there because third touches of trend lines very often are, but if we get above that, then you can see that we've made a big, in fact, wedge consolidation breakout, and then we're looking much higher for basic attention token. So the way you measure, or the way I measure targets for when you have a wedge consolidation breakout like this, you take the widest point of the wedge and you project it from the breakout point. So if we broke out here above this, I'm going to look up we go then. So 10,000 would be the target for basic attention token. So that would be very nice. Thank you very much. Let's see if we can do it. For now, though, we're going to look to 5,487 on the upside. So that's it for tonight. I will be back with an update tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have some resolution to what we're going to do here in Bitcoin. Continue lower to 4,300 or see a bit of a bounce first. Good luck. Be careful at these levels. They're really crucial, and talk to you later.